What's good, Council of Comics? Welcome to the Council of Comics live podcast, episode 9. Be back in 30 seconds. What's good, Council of Comics? Welcome to the Council of Comics live podcast, episode 9. We're talking about Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 4, Part 3, and some other rumors and stuff. Let's go.
Yeah. Shout out to Madness. Yeah. Rogue Nation 845. Bro.
What's good, Council of Comics? Thank you for tuning in. If you are tuned in and not subscribed, please go down below, subscribe. If you're on Facebook, jump on over to the YouTube, hit that subscribe button so you can help us with our following and you can be entered into future giveaways on the channel. I got, of course, with me here as usual, Green Shirt Guy, aka Ronaldo, and Cliff NY, aka Cliff. What's good, y'all?
I gotta get a green screen. I hate that my hand doesn't show up. You know,
you gotta get that better internet.
Well, this one's not about internet.
Or you can wait like 3 years and you won't need a green screen anymore.
What? Because we're gonna all be virtual and disgusting.
Technology doubles every 2 years, Cliff.
Every 5 years, and we haven't done it in the last 5 years. Just so you know.
5 is 2.
No,
more.
Dude. The a-hole who came up with the theory, and God, I hope I'm wrong. I can't remember if he's a disgusting racist or not, but I think he is. It's Moore's Law. It's every 5 years.
Yeah, but when was that written?
In our lifetime. The guy is still alive. Hey, Kamaria. Hey, Larry. Hey, Terrence.
What's good, guys?
And then, even if it doubles every so many years, it doesn't really matter because it's all when it becomes available to the public. And you got to remember, everything you buy is already obsolete.
Right. So at least here, comic books. I know they're trying to make them digital, but no.
Oh, no.
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 I don't know what's going through the minds of some of these creators. Like, I get it. It's an easy way for you to put out your stuff.
Yes, and they can always make the print version later.
They could.
And they
do.
It
opens up a door for them to be like, yeah, we don't need to print this anymore. That's where the NFT market was going, but it hit a snag. Because people were starting to realize that the NFT, some people still do it. It still has a little popularity, but not as it used to. Because people are like,
tell you something. There's gonna be some. The thing is, everything went NFT all at once, right? Mm-hmm. A few years down the line, we're gonna see which ones blow up. We're not gonna see it now, you know, and that's super annoying. A lot of it is annoying. I can't. But the thing is, we like our print comics. I support digital creators just the same, and usually, way more often than not, their digital content eventually sees print one way or another. Most of them have it in print at shows. Luciano Vecchio's Sereno has only been available digitally, and I got the Ash Can at New York Comic Con, and I ordered issue 1 that is going to be in print in next month. So I'm very excited.
Well, excellent. I just can't get down on the digital market. It doesn't serve for me. If it serves for other people, that's good. But
yeah. I mean, again, they get their content to the public. And the thing is, like, I enjoy reading it, even though I'm also like, oh, I just spent money on something that only exists on my phone. Like, you know what I mean?
That's the thing. You know what I mean? Like, this is a digital file here. Right. But let's get to some room.
Call me a crazy person, but I always worry about having strictly digital. Because if you remember, there was books years ago when Amazon was big into the Kindle thing that all of a sudden they took back. So if you only own it digitally, and the company that you bought it from goes, nah, it's not available anymore. You know, how are you going to get to it, especially if you're streaming it?
Yeah, the first time it happened where somebody noticed was the Lego Lord of the Rings. If you did not own the physical copy, that was it. Once the license was over to Lego, and if anyone who owned the game digital only, it was no longer available to them.
That's the point I'm trying to make with the digital market. Like, anytime the company wants to say no more, you go to play it on your phone, and it's not there anymore. Right. They can take it away from you.
But also, a lot of these digital guys, like, you own a PDF of the work afterwards, right? So, like, if you support an artist directly, like, it's not like, oh, here's the Comixology. Like, maybe there's a Comixology link or whatever. Like, that bothered me. I paid for the Marvel app just so I could read the Iceman series. That's why I asked Luciano if we were going to see it in print soon, because I don't trust that. The minute I stop paying for Marvel.com or whatever you call it, like, that's it. It's over. I don't get to read that Iceman story.
All right. I want to first mention what went down on Saturday. The mini monster market happened on Saturday at the Multiverse in Hyde Park. Right, you're seeing here is the thumbnail. This is going to drop on Tuesday at around 2:30 on the YouTube channel. We got some nice footage of what was going on there. Anthony and Tom and everybody threw an excellent event. Green shirt guy's wife was holding it down.
She was. I couldn't be there.
While he was out in the field.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah, you're not wrong.
So this was a really, really great event. These guys are dope. The Spider-Punk and the original. This is her original character that she's created in cosplay. The Crow guy is amazing. You can just tell from the picture, like, he looks like the freaking Crow. Like, he was pretty cool. And then just a bunch of nice vendors, and it was just a wonderful.
The Crow guy is David Santiago.
David Santiago,
award-winning cosplayer. Which is so funny. He didn't bring it up not one time, and I was talking about it all day.
I managed to put in the picture of the cosplay issue.
Nice.
I was talking about it, so that's pretty cool to see. All right,
did
rumor.
Did you at least scroll by my table in that video?
Yeah, we scrolled by your table. Okay. I didn't want to put your wife on the spot. Like, tell me about it and all that.
Like,
you know what I mean?
A black hole between.
First bit of news: Blade. What's going on with Blade? They fired the director. It's been delayed.
Did they fire him and he walked away? I heard he walked away.
Ooh, I heard either one. It
was, artistic differences because he didn't like the script and want to make some changes. And then and that's what I heard. But it's always no. I quit. No, you got fired.
Mahershala Ali is not a happy man, from what the reports are saying. Said that he's insulted with the script that they gave him.
Is that right?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so he has a problem too.
Gave him a 90-page script. 90 pages.
Hour and a half.
That's an hour and a half, yeah.
This is Blade, my G, and he's been waiting 5 years to play this dude.
Right, I can't get a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Or something.
Like, Blade was huge. The fans fought for something, essence of Blade to come back. They were even fighting for Wesley Snipes to come back at one point. And you're gonna throw him a 90-page script that he's insulted at? Like, what is going on over there?
Was he insulted because it's 90 pages? Or he insulted because of the actual content of the script?
It was like, from what people say from gathered spots, there was like no action. It was like dull, and it was like mad short.
Okay.
And he was like, "What is this?" You know what I mean?
And the Black Knight is shoved in there too somehow.
Yeah, everything is just like They said he was thinking about leaving the project.
Wow.
So that would be horrible. That would be horrible.
Well, what's his name sitting at home thinking that he's, should be back in the Marvel universe. Who was it? Terrence Howard.
Yeah, it's time. Yeah, it's time. But what do you think is going on? Is this becoming too much for Kevin Feige?
Yes, there's too much. Look at our this is week 3 of us trying to cover phase 4. Like it's too much. They need less is more. This is time to dial it down. I don't know if I want to go on, but
like I said last week, I think what this phase suffers from is there's no
direction.
Not even direction. There's just no through line that everyone can see where it's going. I'm sure he knows, but none of us.
Through line and direction.
Like, it's a lot of different things that may kind of coalesce at some point, but we don't know where it's going. So as a result, there's so much stuff. But if you knew that you're getting to point, B at some point, you're like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing. I see what I think that's the problem.
Was COVID such a thing that this ship was so tight and narrow that COVID just bumped it, and now the ship's like this, because since then is when this problem happened.
Let me tell you, COVID is such a thing that it could really throw things off course.
Right, but they've had this stuff scheduled for years, so it's not like
I know, but we've watched them adjust course before, and with decent success. This time, their course correcting has been major. We've got a lot of ups and downs since the start of phase 4, and COVID played into a lot of those ups and downs. For starters, Black Widow being available in theaters and on Disney Plus, and that causing its own controversy. And then
I support Scarlett.
I do, but I only support her in the name of supporting artists, because the overall good that her negotiating with Disney created is good for all future actors working with Disney.
Correct. But
I'm not supporting her.
Anybody that does anything that's going to be on a digital medium too.
Right.
Because
I'm not supporting her in the name of her own selfishness.
No.
Plenty of money.
I mean, to be fair to her though, that's not her fault that that happened.
Right.
It's one person versus this huge corporation. Now, granted, we're talking about millionaires arguing with billionaires, but I mean, it's still fair is fair.
No, and that's why I'm supporting her, because of fairness for all. Not like if this is a one-on-one particular instance, I'm like, it's rich people fighting, Right. But because it's rich people fighting, but other people coming up can be affected, then yes, I'm supporting her because it will help the people coming up.
Yeah, and then, I mean, especially after this Werewolf by Night, that's a victory right there. That
for real
should open up the supernatural door. Like Blade is supposed to be hitting you next year, beginning of next year. Like, here's Blade, boom, right after this. You know what I mean? So it continues to open up the door. But I think this is a big blow. If they don't get this on track.
Will Wakanda Forever make us forget a lot of that for a while? If it's good enough,
possibly.
If it absolutely knocks it out of the park, that's what we're talking about for at least a month.
Possibly. All right, second bit of news before we continue on our phase 4. Ready for this?
Okay.
Sacha Baron Cohen is rumored to be playing Mephisto in the MCU. Have you heard this?
I don't know how I feel about that.
I think it's a great choice.
But what kind of? Well, I think he could do it. I don't have a doubt about that.
He looks like him right there.
Yeah. I just wonder what MCU project would it be. Remember, they always
it's supposed to be Ironheart.
Oh.
Remember, they got the hood in that too.
You love it that much, huh, Cliff?
I said that as well. I also said, but then I was like, wait a minute. The mutant in Ironheart is going to be the hood, which has to deal with you know what I mean?
By the way, I'm excited that the hood will be in the MCU. I am not excited that it's Ironheart's villain. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, that part
I forgot who her villain was in the comics when she fought that. Remember when she goes over to China or whatever? And she fights that group?
It was not very memorable. That's
the
problem.
Which is why I'm sure they want to switch it up.
Yeah. But I think he'd be an excellent Mephisto. I could see him being manipulative and the whole thing. I think he won't be like red like this. That's my opinion. I think he'll have like moments of being Red, but he'll look like Sacha Baron Cohen in like a nice little suit or something.
I think what you do is you make him look like a Wall Street businessman or a stock trader with really nice suit, just walking around suave, and and then he has to look like this when he wants to prove a point.
Which it might be, because remember, you're dealing with Ironheart, you're dealing with technology, you're dealing with Armor Wars, so he might be involved in all that stuff. Yeah.
I don't.
What's the matter? Speak your mind.
I don't love it. I'm not gonna lie, I don't love it, but
I don't love it. This stuff. I mean, I love him. I love him. Him as Mephisto, I'm down for. Everything else, I'm not down for. I'm just like he should be showing up in a Doctor Strange film. I'd even be down. I can't.
Well, remember about Mephisto. Mephisto's a character that's going to show up in multiple places.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's not someone you could just kill off.
He could show up in Loki season 2.
Good.
And
whenever they introduce
here's another issue I have.
He has to show up.
China is not big on devils, and they've avoided devil characters because of the Chinese market.
That's true.
Yeah, but the whole anime stuff is all demons and stuff
right,
like that.
But their interpretation of demons is a non-Christian interpretation of demons.
But Mephisto's not a Christian devil.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
He's a Satan.
He's the Satan stand-in.
Yeah,
and
stand-in, but he's not Satan. You know what I mean?
Well, he also is. Like in several comics.
It's the same imagery and everything too.
No, it draws its similarities from that.
I shy away from Mephisto stories. I don't.
I hated the Spider. Remember the Spider-Man? Remember the Spider-Man Mephisto story? Oh my god!
Yeah,
he sold his identity soul to save Aunt May.
Yeah,
that was wild.
We're gonna talk about that in the movies later, right? I mean, basically, it's a stripped down version of the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want you to know, in Marvel lore, he professes he is not Lucifer. Right. Yet, in Marvel lore, Lilith, Adam's first wife, is like, yo, Mephisto's the one who took the form of a snake. So there you have it.
Well, that's Marvel playing with
Marvel lore is too close.
Yeah. Where's Jesus? No, I'm just fine. Where's Jesus in the MCU?
Apparently, there's a Skrull. There's a Skrull who's down with in Marvel Comics. Did you ever read that story? It was a Marvel Knights Spider-Man story, and there's this dude who's basically Superman, and he's a super Skrull. He was sent to Earth by his parents when the Skrull homeworld was destroyed, and he was raised by humble Christian family. And all of his powers are because he's a super Skrull.
In the comic book card, they say people think he's the devil, but they say he's not.
Yep, thank you, Larry.
By Larry, yep.
So anyhow, the Super Skrull dude, like Mr. Fantastic figures the whole thing out. The guy's upset. He ends up saving the day, but they're like, dude, you're not trained to be a hero. Like, you're all over the place. Like, go find something else. So they said to Reed. They're like, Reed, so like with all of his abilities, like where does his power to heal come from? And they show him in a small impoverished nation healing people. And Reed's like, what power to heal? So like the story ends that he's healing people because of his faith.
That's pretty cool.
You know? So just so you know that some stories in the Marvel universe do tap Christian faith very hard.
But DC doesn't, right? Oh, they do it more, I think, don't they?
DC does it more because the Spectre is the wrath of God.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
But the Spectre also shows up. The interpretation of the Spectre also shows up according to your theology, just like the Sandman appears to you as your culture would interpret him.
Right. And DC also has Lucifer. who's supposed to be that, right?
Right, and their Lucifer is Lucifer Morningstar.
Right. All right. Let's get to what we came here for.
Bring
This
it.
is the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Phase 4, Part 3. And we are going to discuss the Spider-Man's No Way Homes, the Doctor Strange Lost in the One Verse of Madness, and Thor, Love and Thunder.
And She-Hulk.
Do we want to talk about She-Hulk?
Well, I mean, she ends the freaking phase. Oh, no.
No. We still got stuff coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to do that with Wakanda. All right. Spider-Man No Way Home. Peter Parker is a numbskull. And Doctor Strange is a bigger numbskull for what the hell's going on in here. So basically this movie is about Peter Parker. Everybody knows that he's Spider-Man now. Jerry Jonah Jameson has released his identity. And so he goes to Doctor Strange to see if he can get that fixed, and ends up messing up a lot of things.
I'm just thinking about this now. I mean, if everybody knows that he's the one that did all this stuff, and why don't they just go arrest him? He still gets to go to school and everything.
Did he commit a crime?
Well, no, he's accused of a crime. You know, they have the video.
Oh, they bailed him out. Yeah.
Yeah,
like
they bailed him out. But you know, they have the video of Mysterio being like, Peter Parker did this to me. He's, look at this video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So this movie to me was great.
It is. It's also very messy on the rewatch.
I haven't watched it again for a second time. I'm
You
waiting
have
for it to
watched
come
it
on
a second
Disney
time?
Plus.
It's never coming to Disney Plus.
No, it is. It is.
It's a hard way, apparently.
Yeah, it's like gonna take. I think it might be next year. It might be hitting Disney Plus because it's like a couple years. It has to go through Netflix. It has to go through all this other shit. But it is coming. So Peter messes with Doctor Strange while he's doing the spell. For some reason, Doctor Strange is just A-okay with doing the spell. The spell. Which made me believe like he was Mephisto or somebody.
Right, but in the first Doctor Strange movie, he's playing with time then. So maybe he's like, look, if I'm doing it for the right reasons, I'm okay with toying with time. It's Wong that's really the one that's like, don't do this. Nothing
and
good comes
remember,
from
this spell doesn't actually toy with time.
Oh,
this.
yeah,
Well,
it's not about
you're
time.
right. No, you're right.
Not about time.
Right. It's about everyone who knows who Peter Parker is forgetting who Peter Parker is. But by Peter interfering with the spell, because no, don't do it to MJ, don't do it to Aunt May, by him making up the spell reaches out to everyone who knows who Peter Parker is, pulls them in, and then kind of picks and chooses who remembers who Peter Parker is.
Right.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. I got that wrong. No. The spell gets broken, and it ends up pulling in anyone who remembers who Peter Parker is. Period.
Well, some of the people.
Well, we didn't see everybody. We know Venom showed up.
Right. That's a good point. That's a very good point. There could have been other people that were pulled in.
Yeah.
That
and the Morbius movie, what's his name gets stuck in the Morbius universe. Vulture.
I haven't watched that one yet. I heard it's garbage.
It is garbage. You only need to watch the last 5 minutes to know that Vulture is stuck in the Sony universe.
You want to help me take down
I'll watch it. I think it's on Netflix now, right?
Yes, it is.
Is it? All right, I gotta watch it.
Yeah, it is. Maybe I'll watch that after I watch Rings of Power tomorrow.
I heard it wasn't that bad.
It's not that good.
I heard the story is kind of bounces all over the place. It makes no sense.
Let me tell you, it's not Monsters level bad. Where Monsters.
Oh, I watched that. That was trash.
That is the greatest atrocity to. Oh, Jamal said I summed that movie up perfectly. Thank you. The Monsters is the greatest atrocity to
classic television.
No, to theater, to the arts. It is the greatest atrocity to the arts of 2022.
It's bad. It's
like
that bad. It's the writing's not good. It visually looks like it was shot on an old iPhone, not even a new iPhone. The pacing, it's awful. None of the jokes land. That's awful. Right,
Jamal. Jamal's like, I'm mad. I watched it and I watched it for free. That's right. It's that bad, Jamal.
I watched it with my family. I came home and they had just started. I just kept looking at my wife going, really? This is awful. We're still watching this?
Whatever.
It's so bad.
Worse.
So back to the Spider-Man.
Back to your regular schedule program.
What ends up happening is that through a whole bunch of hijinks and whatever, we come to find out that the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man have been pulled into the Tom Holland universe, which leads to a third act, which I thought was up there with Endgame, honestly, with the way they all work together. Like, this is something everybody's wanted to see. You know what I mean? Can you imagine? Like, we'd never imagined this would happen. We'd hoped this would happen. But now look at it. We're actually seeing it happen.
And even when they leaked some of this, because remember, some of it got leaked, it was like, all right, well, and then you went in and you're like, okay, it's still, even though I kind of know it's coming, it was better than I was expecting.
Yeah.
I mean, I was definitely excited when I was in the theater.
It just proves to me that it's a travesty that they haven't brought Willem Dafoe back before now to play Green Goblin in this new Spider-Man arc. Yeah, he could be the Green Goblin in another universe, but why couldn't he be one in this one too?
Listen, he did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
With
no makeup, none of that nonsense that they tried to pull off in the 90s.
Yeah, I mean,
he was phenomenal in this movie.
Yo, her outfit in this picture, man, you're killing me. Look at the stars on her plaid outfit, like America Chavez. Yo, that's so great.
I didn't think she was. I thought she was okay.
No, she is okay, but the point is, dude, she showed up at the red carpet and she wore an America Chavez centric outfit, man. That's dope. I love it.
I need her to be I don't know, like.
Dude, the thing is, that was not her movie. She was a literal human MacGuffin in a movie. I think when we actually see her like interacting, hopefully with the other Young Avengers, I think it's gonna be a lot better.
If we ever get the Young Avengers.
The only thing that has been happening in Phase 4, the only thing is we're building the Young Avengers piece by piece by piece by piece.
Listen, we thought Mephisto was coming. How many times did we say Mephisto's gotta come? He's here.
I definitely thought that was WandaVision. I thought for sure.
So J. Jonah Jameson came back.
I love him.
The fact that he came back was pretty awesome. His version is now like a digital type J. Jonah Jameson, social media type one,
right?
Instead of a paper one, which I think in the next Spider-Man 4, Peter will go work for the Daily Bugle.
Well,
because now we've had his origin story in the 3 movies, and now he's got his own apartment now. He's got this and that, and he need a job. So I think that's how they're gonna bring that in.
What's the Daily Bugle gonna look like in that movie though? Because we live in a world now where physical newspapers you see them, but it's not a common occurrence. Really, newspapers are online at this point.
Yeah, right? I think it'll be.
I grew up in where you'd see the paper all the time.
Yeah, I think it'll be a social media thing. I don't think it'll be a print.
That shit is gonna be like Newsmax. They're gonna have like their own channel, and they're gonna have their own social media, and Peter will contribute to it and just be devastated all the time by how they treat Spider-Man.
Jamie Foxx back as Electro.
Oh, what a redemption for Electro in this movie.
Really, a redemption for all of them.
And no, but I mean, a layered redemption. But for him,
Doc Ock didn't really need any redemption. He had a great movie.
No, he's just great to see. And it's nice to know that maybe, just maybe, when they're all sent back moments before their death, that they can
save themselves.
Let
me send you right back to a moment you're about to die.
You know what? When Doc Ock goes back to die, right? I bet you he's still just going to do the right thing. He's going to go back, see what happened, and be like, this is my fault. And he will drag that artificial sun into the ocean with him.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the man doesn't get old, man. This dude does not get old.
Really? Because those crow's feet and those teeth tell me otherwise.
I mean, he looks great for his age.
He looks great for Skeletor. Yes. Now go back. Go back.
Ooh,
go
can
back.
you imagine him as Skeletor?
Yeah, he'll be amazing. Go back. Go back.
Well, sorry.
You're murdering me. Look who looks great. She looks great. Marissa Tomei looks amazing. And look, she's wearing an Infinity Gauntlet dress. Come on. She's the best. She auctioned that off for charity, by the way.
And spoiler alert, in the movie, during one of the fight scenes, Aunt May bites the big one. She goes off into the netherworld.
And she gives Peter the speech.
Yeah. I didn't see it coming, but I loved it.
Listen, that scene got me because I was like, oh man, is she dead? And then she got up, started walking. Oh no, she's good. And then she started like acting funny. And I was like, oh no. I was like, she's about to go.
Right. And then she says the line, and you're like, you're definitely dead.
You know what I mean? But then it was also touching, like when the other two Spider-Men went to go find him, and they were telling him their story and everything. And I thought that was really, really good. Especially Andrews, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
that's what I would say. I mean, we're talking about how Jamie Foxx, Electro gets kind of redeemed in this movie. To me, it's a redemption story for the first two Spider-Mans, especially Andrew Garfield, who's taken so much trash over the years. And I don't think he was a bad Spider-Man. I just think
he had bad movies.
He was given bad movies to be in. It's not necessarily his fault,
Yo, when he rescues MJ. That is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I love that they have a little friendship because when the two of them went to the Academy Awards, they didn't even sit together, but they took a whole bunch of pictures on the red carpet together because they knew that people were huge fans of the movie. And I just thought that was so cool. And I think in an interview they talked about that was a really intense scene to film properly, right? Because they're both on wires to make the landing looked good. But it was really cool. And I like that what's her name? Emma Stone is like, yo, he lied to me. He swore up and down he's not in the Spider-Man movie.
But it gives credence to the thought that you're happy that you've watched the other movies.
Yes.
Because if you have not watched those other movies, you don't get the same. Yeah. I don't think you'd get that scene. You'd be like, okay, he saved her. Like, okay, what? We'd be like, no, dude, did you see Amazing Spider-Man 2? Where her neck just bang on the ground? Like, this is deep stuff we're dealing with here. And I thought that was really, really good. And I also thought it was great at the end when the Sinister Five or Sinister Four, whatever they are, come and they hold each other and they're like Spider 1, Spider 2, no, Peter 1, Peter 2, Peter 3. And then they team up and they go fight them all. I thought it was right out the comics, really dope how they worked with each other and they got that done. And especially with Peter ready to kill the Green Goblin at the end and Toby
original
I was an Avenger. What's that?
Yeah. Let's just know there was no Avengers in the other movies. You know what I mean? Which makes me sad because I would hope Toby had an Avenger squad eventually or something like that.
Not in the Sony universe.
Yeah.
Right.
But the movie ends with Doctor Strange, he's able to shut off the spell, but the only caveat of it all, is that the right word, caveat? The only thing about it is that if he does the spell, everybody will forget who Peter Parker is. And Peter's just like, yo, just do it. And he goes, has that scene with him and these two on the screen right now, like saying goodbye and all that stuff. That was dope.
And pisses me off.
Why does it piss you off?
Because he completely robbed her of her agency in the situation. Right?
What do you mean?
She never discussed it with her. Her whole character development has been through the lens of being Peter's friend and then love interest. And now all of that has vanished because this spell needed to be prepared. And then she basically begged him to come find her and tell her the truth. And then when he does, because he's weak, and he's like, oh, maybe she has a great life with my friend, he doesn't do a thing.
No, I didn't read it that way. I read it as, because if you remember, there's
I didn't read it that way.
What's the friend's name? Ned shows up and he's got the Stanford sweatshirt on.
Yes.
And it's clear that they're now into Stanford because he's removed himself. So in his mind, the way I read it, in his mind, he's like, look, as much as I want to tell her, I'm going to ruin her life again.
Yeah.
Because nothing good comes from being around me, and I've at least fixed it so she can have the life that she deserves.
And he's a dumbass. Okay? Because
that can be
but that's Peter Parker, Cliff. That's Peter Parker.
Okay, maybe. I just
look at all the dumb things Peter Parker has done in the comics.
You are absolutely right. And I'm the first person to bring up things like when people want Daredevil to be serious all the time. I'm like, have you read his comic books?
Exactly.
You know, like, no. So like, I'm just mad because I don't like how it played out. I don't like how it took agency away from other characters, particularly MJ, whose growth through the series has been a result of being connected to Peter. So, and now we're just going, oh, she got into Stanford. That's just great. You know, everything's just better because I wasn't there, because everybody forgot who I was. And that's the thing, just because you forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, does that mean that she and Ned had no adventures with Spider-Man? That they don't remember ever interacting with Spider-Man? You know, it's one of those things where it was great dramatic effect, but it was tone deaf storytelling at the same time. And that's why rewatching the film actually gets me upset.
Interesting. I hope in the future films,
and I love her spider web.
We see this MJ develop into the MJ of the comic books. I want her to be a model. I want her to be, you know what I mean, that MJ from the comics.
And then go work for Tony.
And
then go work for Tony.
Well, Tony's dead in this universe, so
he's coming back. I'm telling you, they gotta bring him back.
From what I hear, they're rebooting after Secret Wars.
Which is good, because then we get a Captain America and an Iron Man. That we get the mainstays that people are looking for. You do need a reboot for that to happen.
All right. So, what was the end credit scenes of this movie? Venom.
Oh, the Venom one.
Yeah, that's the only one I remember.
Right, and then we got a clip. We got a clip of Multiverse of Madness. That was it.
And we got a clip.
We got the clip that you see in the you got the trailer.
Yeah.
In this trailer here.
No, you got the short one, the teaser one where he's walking with Wanda.
No, this is the 3-minute one.
Right, but the one at the end of Spider-Man was the one where it starts off where he's walking.
I see what you mean.
The orchard with Wanda.
Yeah. So that movie leads us to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which, if you have followed our TikTok and Instagram and YouTube back then, you would know the famous argument of myself and Cliff as we battled inside the Alternaverse about whether this movie was great or not.
I enjoyed it.
That's the thing. I enjoyed it, and then I enjoy it less on every rewatch. And then you gotta. Well, no, one thing. Like, what's his name? What's something Walden? What's his name? Michael Waldron, right?
The writer,
It turned out he never watched WandaVision.
didn't watch WandaVision.
I was like, well, my forgiveness. So you know how you have like a forgiveness level, like an internal meter that you create, right? My forgiveness meter deteriorated, and I'm like, you scumbag. And so I have like he's not a scumbag, maybe that's too hard, but I'm like mad because like characters like Wanda, who I really enjoy, who are constantly just written by men who just use her character as a pawn more than actual character-driven stories, right? It just annoys me. And like, there's a lot of great motivation for Wanda in this movie, but this movie is.
Well, it lacked exactly what you said. It lacked somebody writing it that actually saw WandaVision.
Right, because it would have been nice for there to be like.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah.
I think scenes like this could have been a lot better.
Yes.
Just from you watching WandaVision, you would know, like us watching the trailer and seeing this, because we've watched WandaVision, is like, oh, okay. They're keeping with it. We're gonna see, okay, this is good. But then you watch it and it's just like, it's like some side stuff. Honestly, it's not even like major stuff.
And then I'm sure to save a few dollars, they did not cast Vision in this movie.
Yeah.
Or they're saving him for something else.
No, but mostly I feel like they were trying to save a few bucks. You know?
I mean, her motivation's pretty clear from the outset in this movie. I just feel like the switch gets turned too quick. She goes evil too fast.
Right, because it's like surprise, big reveal, I'm the villain. But
right.
And then we immediately have to blame the Darkhold, and I accept that. I accept, okay, it's the Darkhold's fault. That's what caused all this.
Right, but
it's Wanda though. It's not just the Darkhold. Like Wanda's looking.
You get the redemption at the end, but you didn't get the slow burn into the.
No, we didn't get the slow burn in. But no, it's absolutely the Darkhold. Her fingers are already corrupted, and her corrupted fingers are just like Agatha Harkness's corrupted fingers from when she had the Darkhold. Which, by the way, I have my own theory, because now that I'm back to liking speculation, screw me. My theory is the Agatha Harkness series might redeem Agatha Harkness now that she is not being exposed to the Darkhold.
Oh, there are rumors to cling on to that. Sacha Baron Cohen is filming scenes right now for Agatha.
That would be great. That's where I want to see him.
This is just my, and I could be 100% wrong, right? Because obviously we don't know yet. My feeling is that show is going to be the Bewitched version of, whatever. It's going to be quirky and whatever and funny, and that's the way I'm reading that.
But it has to have a serious end punch. You know what I mean?
Does.
Like, you know what I mean?
think it's going to be more of a comedic series than anything else.
I also think the show may reintroduce Wanda's kids.
They have to eventually at some point, right?
Let me tell you, because they're young Avengers. But let me tell you, if Mephisto is part of that series, then I believe even more that that's how they'll reintroduce Wanda's kids.
Yeah. So in this movie, America Chavez we come to find out, is being chased down by Wanda. Wanda needs America Chavez so that she can jump from reality to reality to find basically her kids. And
not just her kids, but then if anything ever happens to her kids, she could jump to a reality that could save her kids in case anything happens to them.
Yeah. So she needs Chavez. Doctor Strange is having dreams, and that's one part I didn't like. They say when you have dreams, it's just another universe. And I'm like, that just takes away from the whole thing of dreams. You know what I mean? Like, dreams are supposed to be like, okay, maybe it's something else, maybe it's not. You know what I mean? You don't know. But to say that they're universes, it's just like, That
was one of the strongest nails in the coffin for this movie for me. Because as soon as I rewatched it, the first time I watched it, I'm like, oh, I don't like that. The second time I watched it, I said, oh, I don't like that, and I can't stop thinking about that, how much I don't like that.
Well, the other thing that bothers me now I'm thinking about it is that this movie, you get to see Wanda be, obviously she's the big bad, but like she's super powerful, right? And she's kind of been held back through some of the other movies, but we're seeing just how ridiculously powerful she is. And then it makes me think of that scene in Endgame where she needs help to get the gauntlet to the van again. Like, if she's this powerful, come on.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Okay.
What are we doing
Okay,
here?
but also in Endgame, Wanda doesn't know how powerful she is.
Yeah, but she kicks Thanos' ass pretty easily.
Yes, she does, but without understanding her strength or where it's coming from.
So then she's even more powerful because she doesn't know how strong she
That's
is.
not how it works.
How does it work, Cliff?
You know, like, yeah, when someone doesn't understand their power, you get radical burst of superhumanness. But no, she doesn't know how to control it. So she was really focused on just Thanos and revenge. And so there was nothing else. So when he blasted the ground, she was completely discombobulated because she didn't know I'm the Scarlet Witch. I can rewrite reality. Because she knew she could rewrite reality in that moment. She would snap Thanos out, brought back Vision, and everyone who showed up for Endgame would be like, oh no, Wanda's so powerful.
I think. Okay, so Wanda's still out there, right? I think
Wanda.
it wasn't a big enough moment for her personally. And I'm just like, okay, when is she going to show up again? Is she going to be bad again? You know what I mean? Like,
well, no, I really think they got to focus on redeeming her. I would appreciate
she's done two horrible things. She's done two horrible things.
Yeah, and Magneto is a member of the X-Men right now.
Magneto is not in this universe right now. In this universe,
matter that everyone in the comics is super horrible. The Punisher is super horrible. Magneto
what I'm talking about though is this universe. I'm talking about the MCU. She's done two horrible.
The rules apply. She can be forgiven. Find a way.
Yeah, listen, find a way. Get it out of here. I tell you, find a way. We have to deal with what they've given us.
It's not how it works.
It's not how it works, Cliff.
What do you want Wanda to be? How do you want Wanda to be redeemed? If I wrote a movie to redeem Wanda, once I get her under control, I have her go back to freaking New Jersey or wherever the hell she was, and I have her fix that town up nicely, right? And like apologize to everybody, you know. And add like a little pod of Stark Corporation there or something, so that the people there are all working and happy.
Well,
I think what you do is you have her go off to her little cabin in the woods again. Like, I can't believe I did all this. I'm gonna go be by myself, so I can't hurt anybody any longer. I realize just how powerful I am. And then when the next big galactic bad shows up, whoever, Strange, whoever you want to choose that
White Vision,
listen to, we really need you. You know, well, that's forgiven. We need you now.
I agree.
And that's what
I think her stories are being, without Magneto, you're constricting her stories. Because we can't have House of M, which is her main story. Like her, whatever version we get of it, I feel like that's what we need to see. We need to see House of M, because House of M was her big one. The whole disassembled stuff, like, I don't know how they would do that.
Was also her big one.
That's what I mean. It's that whole beeline of that thing is what we need to see, and I don't feel we've gotten that.
Wow. And I'm just not happy with what all of that did to her. So I don't know. Maybe we'll never get it, and maybe I'll be fine with that.
Well, you won't be fine with it, but I think we're never going to get it.
We also see the Illuminati in this film, and come to find out from the director,
and Illuminati,
and a version of Illuminati, which the director said that he just threw in there. There was no point to it. He just needed someone for Wanda to fight.
Here's a problem with the film then, right? So, if you remember it, in Endgame, you get I've looked at 14 million possibilities, but there's a statue where it dedicated to them beating Thanos in their universe.
Yeah,
right.
So then now it should have been not,
Yeah. So
just remember, he only looked at 14 million outcomes, not every outcome.
Okay, but come on. What are the odds that he just skipped that one?
The odds in an infinite realm? I don't know, buddy.
I mean,
Federico Prada. gives us a comments that disassembled House of M will probably happen after more mutants are introduced. I agree. Which is maybe they should have waited on this Wanda stuff. You know what I mean? Like if you don't have all the pieces to the puzzle, it's hard to tell her real story. Like they had to go around all these things, like with Quicksilver and all this other. Like you couldn't say she was a mutant. You couldn't do all this other stuff.
Well, they're not mutants in the comic now,
right?
But they changed that because of the movies.
No, well, yeah, because of the whole thing happening with Pelletier and Marvel and all that scumbaggery.
Yeah.
Which honestly, why that man still has a job, I don't know. I'd be like, you're rich enough. Goodbye.
So Wanda goes up against the Illuminati, which includes Professor X. She handles them easily. When I say easily, even killing our beloved Professor Xavier in the process, which I thought he was just totally disrespected. Like, totally disrespected. Because he didn't even really fight her. Like, he's supposed to be...
Oh, no. Listen, man. He's an old man with super psychic powers in a wheelchair, and she...
Super sucky powers? He's the most powerful mind on the planet.
If you listen to me, I said super psychic powers.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Versus someone who can rewrite reality. I think it was a little bit not in his favor.
You could have some kind of fight. He didn't even fight her. She snuck up behind him and snapped his neck.
Tell you, that was a great scene because that was one of the 2 moments in the movie that actually made me jump in my seat.
I mean, as much as we want to talk about whether it's weak or not, it was Marvel giving the Sony version of X-Men's done. We're literally killing it right now.
Only until Deadpool 3.
Right. Well, I was more excited to see Krasinski as Reed Richards.
Yes,
I thought that was awesome.
That was pretty cool.
And to see Captain Carter make a screen debut after they basically just created her and on Disney Plus how many months before.
So Doctor Strange ends up fighting a version of himself, which has a somewhat memorable scene with the music notes. It was somewhat cool. It was different. It was new. Federico says lots of mutant stuff is pending. Namor will be introduced as the first mutant. More are coming. Lots of Easter eggs allude that the X-Men and mutants are in the MCU. Yeah, there's Easter eggs in She-Hulk too, where they said a man in a bar with claws was fighting.
And She-Hulk straight up said, "When do we see the X-Men?"
Yeah, that was great in the show. And she turned to the camera and she's like, "Got you." It's super meta, that episode. But in this movie, Doctor Strange ends up getting a hold of the Darkhold to defeat whatever he had to defeat, because it was supposed to be a multiverse of madness, but we only really saw like 1 or 2 universes.
No, we saw a bunch when he grabbed.
I'm not counting the.
He's not counting the we split through
2 seconds
the 6 or 7
1
that
second.
we got to see as they were flying.
Yeah, I'm not counting those.
Well, why not? We do get to see them.
We see them, but we don't get to enjoy them or anything like that.
All right, I'll back off. I'll let you have that.
So he ends up winning. Just to speed through this, he ends up winning, and everything is set right. But the movie ends up
winning because Wanda comes to her senses.
Wanda comes to her senses. Yep.
All right, let's not skip what really happens. Wanda, yes, Strange yells at America to have confidence in herself, that her power does lead her places. She uses her power to beat up Wanda a bit and puts Wanda back in that realm where she wants to take her kids from. Then it's like the kids being terrified of her realizing the kind of monster she's become. And she goes, "I'd never want to hurt anybody." And they're like, "Yeah, well, our mom is hurt over there." And then of course she realizes what's wrong. The other Wanda tells her, "Hey, your kids are cared for." Oh, look, Anthony joined us.
Hey.
Thanks to America's intervention, Wanda realizes I've been corrupted. We've got to put an end to the Darkhold, period. So she destroys the Darkhold Tower and the Darkhold throughout the multiverse.
Yes.
And we are left to believe that Wanda Maximoff is dead.
Yeah, she got teleported out. It's all good.
You saw it, yeah, because you saw the little red stuff, right?
What?
When it got crushed and the building fell.
There was like
Had a
some
little
red
red
energy.
little red moment right there.
It was
Doesn't
wicked.
matter.
And
There's
so
a multiverse of her. There's pull another one. It's all good.
Stephen Strange, you see the movie's over, you think everything's fine, and he has a Sam Raimi moment where his third eye just develops on his head, and because of his using the Darkhold,
He's been corrupted.
He's been corrupted by it.
Did you? I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. I just jumped in and apologized. But like, do y'all talk about how Doctor Strange is an a-hole in every universe?
No, we didn't bring that up.
Best course of action every time is to kill him.
Come on now.
Yeah.
I mean, according to everybody else, not to Doctor Strange, or to his fans, but like everybody else in the universe, smartest people, Reed Richards, Professor X, the best course of action, kill Doctor Strange.
And then the end credit scene of this movie, the first one is Clea.
Yep.
Comes from the dark dimension, says, Doctor Strange, you messed shit up. I need your help to come and fix it, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, all right, I'll help you. And she slices, opens up the dark dimension, and they go in.
Now, Clea, it was Clea that did that. And Clea is, of course, Dormammu's niece.
Yeah.
They're related. Yeah. So the thing from the first movie, they're related.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
Yeah, exactly. That line, that's going to come back, right?
Yeah. So he's going to go off on that. Which leads us to the final movie. Anthony, you can join us for the final movie. Thor, Love and Thunder, which we probably won't spend a lot of time on.
We have a review.
It's just not that great.
Sam, you have a review on this movie.
We do.
Right?
Go see the review.
Go check it in the playlist.
I had fun. Sam wanted to throw himself out of the movie theater.
No, this is the point where I realized I gotta stop wasting my energy.
I think they're gonna show the scene where Sam lost it. Nope, they're not.
No, where I lost all energy in this movie is when they were going to see the gods and they had the dumpling god, and I was like, what?
Well, they also had. Did everybody catch Korg's god is sitting on a throne made of scissors? Because Rock beats.
Oh,
scissors.
I didn't catch that. Is that right?
Oh my!
Rock beats scissors.
God.
No, there's actually, yeah.
I'm so glad I didn't see that. That would have got me even more upset. So Thor: Love and Thunder has Thor chilling with the Guardians of the Galaxy in the beginning. He's very Zen-La type Thor. We have some antics in the beginning. He basically has a montage of losing. He's no longer Fat Thor. He's back to regular Thor, or for the proper terminology, he's no longer overweight Thor. He is buff Thor again. So they find out that gods are being killed because it's not Gore, Gore the God Butcher has found himself a Necro sword, and now he's out killing all the gods because he feels like the gods didn't help him when he needed to save his daughter. And so now he's on a vengeance quest, which you will not see in this movie. You will only see after pictures of the drama that he causes. What else? Cliff, help me out here.
Jane is dying of cancer.
Of cancer. She finds a book or something that mentions Mjolnir, and she thinks about it. So she goes to where Mjolnir is shattered in pieces, and actually she becomes the mighty Thor.
Yes. Which is kept in New Asgard.
Yeah, it's in New Asgard. The movie is filled with comedy. Like the fact that Stormbreaker
is jealous of Mjolnir,
and Thor's not helping that situation. And basically Gore is trying to find his way to infinity, right? Because whoever reaches infinity gets a wish that infinity will grant for them if they can get to them. What do you think?
I mean, it's fine. I mean, of the ones that I rewatched that like deteriorate, this one deteriorated the least. But I didn't rank it that high to begin with. Like also I'm thoroughly convinced the movie is told by the point of view of the rock guy, of Korg, right? So Larry's like, it's a bad movie. It's awful. Yes, Larry, you hate it. I get it. I was like, go watch the Monsters, Larry, and this movie will look like $1 million.
Yes, it will. You're not wrong. This will look Oscar worthy next to the Monsters.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I like Jane's story, and what's his name? Christian Bale made a great villain, but ultimately, Larry says, I believe you. But ultimately, what happens here is neither is giving. Oh, Larry tried the Monsters. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro.
I don't think we got enough Christian Bale, to be honest with you.
Right, but I feel neither of them got enough story time for their stories. So we've got two good performances for a good story that neither's fully fleshed out.
But it's the shortest movie.
I think it's
how
really
is there not time to tell this story?
Yeah, I think it really boils down to this is a vehicle to keep Thor in our mind, right? And you're introducing a few other things. You know, you get to introduce Zeus and some of the other gods. Obviously, you get the teaser.
I liked him as Zeus. I thought it was very good.
Great.
Thought it was great
At the end with so we're going to talk about that.
Prada. We got a comment from Prada. Beta Ray Thor, Beta Ray Bill better show up in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and I think the Waititi verse has run its course of comedies,
which is hilarious because the Waititi verse consists of 2 movies.
Yeah,
right.
Like the poor guy. The guy is a genius. He does great stuff. What We Do in the Shadows is like one of the best series I've ever watched, and like this one was a miss, and I'm sorry for him.
If he goes back to that Ragnarok style, I could see another thing.
But even then, when you watch Ragnarok after watching this, you're like, the shadows are there.
Yeah, it's letting you know, but this like stepped over it. So this movie basically ends with Gore reaching infinity after a cool. I like the scene with the kids when he's like, I endow you all with the powers of Thor, albeit for a limited time only.
right.
And to see them going like to the music, that's classic Taika Waititi. I was like, that's what you gotta stick to, bro. That's good stuff right there. So Gore ends up getting to infinity. He gets to make his wish, but he was gonna wish that all the gods are dead, right? He was gonna wish something like that. But then Jane and Thor convince him.
Well, Thor convinces him because Jane is dying a few feet away.
Yeah, that he could call his daughter back. And he's like, why would I call my daughter back if I'm dying? And Jane basically lets him know that, Thor will take care of her. And he looks at Thor, and Thor is like, yeah, I'll take care of her. So he wishes for her, which is a little strange because he wishes for her daughter back. But you see in the reflection that it's infinity that the daughter is. So is the daughter infinity?
I speculate the daughter is what's her name from A-Force?
Who?
What is she called? The one who looks like Infinity in A-Force.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I do. So all right. So therefore, you never read A-Force.
I did not read A-Force.
No, because the female Avengers is
had nothing to do with the female stuff. It's just so much money. It's so much money.
That was a great.
You just integrate them with everybody else.
J. Willow Wilson wrote an amazing story with Marguerite Bennett and Jorge Molina, and you should all read it.
Prada says Waititi is a genius, but Gore should have been a darker storyline. He's a world killer in the comic verse. Yeah, like this is what it did. It took the whole storyline and squeezed it in, which didn't have to be done.
Let's be clear. The entire Thor series of movies are not known for their villains with the exception of Loki.
Very true. Very true. This movie
what about the ice giants? Which you fight.
They are not known for their villains with the exception of
what? You guys weren't a fan of Malekith? Huh? No,
Malekith's one of my favorites.
Oh, there we go.
But he's one of my favorites.
How's he in the comics? Maybe not in that movie.
No, he was in the movie, but
in the movie. Oh my God!
They finally gave you the half and half, and I was that.
Can you imagine spending hours a day in makeup to play such a freaking shit character?
He didn't have to put that much makeup on, though. It's really just the headdress.
It was
and then they
still
paint his
hours
face.
of makeup. It's still hours of makeup.
To put on a headdress? Come on, Cliff.
No, he had to do the makeup and the ears and all that stuff. It was a lot.
You never really see his ears, though.
I know, but he still did it. That's the point.
He's gonna blow. Stand back. He's gonna blow.
What about who's the what's his name that runs Roxxon? Why have we not seen him yet?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
We should see
That's
him
a
too.
big villain. Big villain.
Hammer?
And I think don't they tease Roxxon in one of the shows?
They tease Roxanne all
In
the
the
time.
Netflix shows. Oh yeah,
Everywhere.
basically every show.
No,
they
I found one of the Disney Plus shows just recently. It was on like
I think Hawkeye.
yes, yep,
I think
yeah.
Hawkeye. Yeah. All right, so this movie ends with Thor basically taking the adoption of Gore's daughter. He's now Uncle Thor, and they're in like a little Winnebago. It reminded me of like of Spaceballs a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's making her pancakes. They're having fun, but then they go outside and they go out to have this big fight against some aliens, and they're labeled Love and Thunder because
that
her
to me
nickname
was
is
stupid.
Love and it's Thunder, and then that's the end of the movie.
Except Jane goes to Valhalla and sees Heimdall
I
there.
didn't
And
say anything about the
that's
end
why-
credits, say that.
Well, we
To
got
me,
to.
that was the best scene of the whole movie because if you read the comics, there's your way to get Heimdall and Jane Foster back in the in the
Yeah,
MCU.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure that's how they're gonna do that. So one of the end credit scenes is Jane Foster's allowed into Valhalla because she died as a warrior. And the other end credit scene is
Wasn't there a joke about that too? Didn't he when he was talking to Sif that she wasn't going to go to Valhalla because the way she was dying
she had
wasn't
to
right?
die
or something?
in battle.
you had to
That's
die
right.
in battle. Yeah, you had to die in battle. And
You
the
just-
other end credit scene, which I feel has huge ramifications for the future of Thor movies, Hercules is introduced, and he looks comic accurate, chef's kiss. You know what I mean? Like I was like, that's Hercules, and hopefully in Thor 5 we will see a Thor versus Hercules, which would be pretty cool.
I would love for Hercules to show up in the Thunderbolts and be their Thor.
Ooh.
I would love it.
Mm.
You gotta put him in another movie before that though.
No, you don't. Just the big reveal as the team is being assembled is they're talking to what's her name, Valentina. Valentina's like explaining what everyone is doing there, right? And then they're like Hercules, and then she'll like, yeah, he's on a path of vengeance, and you know how
I mean,
vengeance.
you could like, what was it? Ares was a part of the Dark Avengers.
Yep.
Which is kind of part of that. So you could swap out Ares for Hercules.
I
You
just
could
want
do
to.
that.
I'm just worried, and not that Marvel will do this, but when we get the Thunderbolts, we get some garbage, villain plot like the first Suicide Squad movie that's so out there that you're like, wait, what? And you have all these great actors in it, but it goes nowhere.
Yeah.
I want you to know, both of the 80s Suicide Squad first story and the New 52 Suicide Squad's first story maybe it was Justice League Dark, but the point is, both of them, both first outings for a team with Enchantress, the villain was Enchantress.
That's fine.
But
I'm
do
okay
it
with
properly.
it being
Do it
Enchantress.
properly, right?
but
No, it was
you-
done terribly.
The problem is with that movie
Oh,
is
look, you can see the
if they're
quotes
fighting-
on-
Yeah, I figured that out. We learned something new. I'm sorry, green shirt guy.
no, that's all right. What I'm saying, the problem with the Enchantress story in that one is they create the problem that they have to fix, which
Yeah.
makes no sense in that movie.
Yeah. Prada says
Otherwise,
Hela
they don't
was
ever have to come together.
Prada says Hela was a badass. Yeah. And I expected Gore to take it to another level. And he also says Thor, Hercules, and Ares in the next Thor film would be very necessary and would be very dope. That would
What's
be
a
very
goldback?
dope. That's Newberg. It's
That's the
NFA
I
gold.
know, I know that, but do we know what that is? It an eagle?
Yeah, it's an eagle.
Okay.
All right, so let's get back to the normal screen. And that's our covering of Phase 4. There are 2 other projects in Phase 4. She-Hulk and Wakanda Forever. We are going to
Wakanda Forever.
We'll wait for Wakanda Forever to come out. We still got to do our She-Hulk episode 9 review on Tuesday, which will go up on Wednesday. So we'll do a future one. You guys got to shoot me ideas. Like, what do you want to cover next week? Do you want to cover DCU? Do you want to cover something totally different? Do you want to do something else in the movie?
Oh my God, I will shoot your ideas because for the love of God, I got to get away from this.
Yeah, this was, but it's good. It's a nice little thing for people to go back and watch if they want to give a quick thing about all the movies and all that.
Werewolf by Night has its own video on our channel. Frederico, go check it out.
Go check the Werewolf by the Night. We have our own video up.
I'm just upset I wasn't there.
I'm so sorry.
I had another situation where a game got moved back. It's supposed to be 4:15, and then it moved back to 6 o'clock, and the away team didn't show up till 6:30.
That sucks. That sucks. So Prada, go check out our video on Werewolf by Night. It's the one in black and white. We made it look just like the Werewolf by Night special. We will be back tomorrow on Monday night because we do the live streams Sunday and Monday night. Tomorrow we're doing, of course, the new keys and hot books of the week. So when you go to New Comic Book Day and you go to your comic shop, you're like, yo, I need that comic book, son, because the Council of Comics said that's hot.
Right? Who won last week on the picking how many we were going to get?
Well, no one actually wrote to us to care.
We're going to continue it, though.
So I got one less book. You got one more book, two more books. Sam got one less book.
Yeah. We're going to continue it. We're going to keep doing it. First time checking in. Prada says, I'll follow more often for sure. Yeah, man, we appreciate you coming through. If you're watching on Facebook, just, hop over to the YouTube. The link is inside the little bio thing. Click subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, it'll help us out a lot. So we'll be back tomorrow for new keys. For everybody that's watching, if you're not a subscriber, please click the button below. We kind of feel like we're in a little slight shadow ban, but I think we're coming out of it because we're starting to get like a subscriber a day.
You're so cute. We're not in a shadow ban. We're in a desert.
We're gonna let the algorithm. We're gonna let the algorithm filter out. We erased all videos that YouTube don't like and none of that other stuff.
How did we erase? What videos could YouTube not have liked?
I had a chance. This channel was my channel before the Council of Comics. We had some interesting videos. You know what I mean? We'll put it that way. But but we're gonna let the algorithm filter out. But also, all you guys that are watching this, when you hit the like button, hit the share button. That helps us bring us out of the darkness. All right. So for myself, for Green Shirt Guy, for Cliff, from the Council of Comics, we thank you for watching. We love you, and we'll see you next time. Peace.